So we've reached this really critical milestone.
Hmm.
The code is structured, the content is all honed.
The navigation flows perfectly.
Exactly. Every visual element is polished, it's optimized.
Yeah.
You, the creator, you've done all the heavy lifting, that really intense, deep focus work.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're standing at the threshold of something completely different. It's the moment that every single person who has ever, coded or designed or just dreamed up a product,
Mm-hmm.
it's what they anticipate. Launch day.
It really is the biggest pivot in the whole process, isn't it? You go from this state of like private achievement,
Right.
where the site is just sitting safely on your own computer, to this moment of public vulnerability, but also immense opportunity.
It stops being a project.
Yeah, it becomes a living, breathing thing that's available to, well, anyone on Earth with an internet connection.
And that transition, despite all the excitement, it's so often paralyzed
Yeah.
by technical fear.
Oh, absolutely.
So our mission for this deep dive is to, completely neutralize that fear. We've synthesized a lot of materials that are designed to guide anyone, and I mean anyone, whether you're a seasoned developer or a total beginner, launching a portfolio for the very first time through the practical steps: launching, monitoring, and growing.
Exactly. We're moving beyond the theoretical structure and getting right into the actionable steps. And what's really crucial here, what the sources we looked at all emphasize, is how modern AI tools, often free ones, can act as your own personal tech translator.
Like a coach.
A coach, exactly. Smoothing out all those old friction points. We want you to deploy not just with code that works, but with real confidence.
I think we should start with the core philosophy that, that really underpins the whole source material. It just perfectly reframes this whole high-pressure moment.
It's a great quote. Building a website is an achievement. Launching it is a celebration. Maintaining it is maturity.
That is such a powerful distinction.
Yeah.
It acknowledges that the real work, the maturity, that starts the day after you launch.
Right. But today, we're focused on getting to that celebration.
Exactly. So we're going to spend a good amount of time detailing how to physically get the site live,
Yeah.
making sure you have that essential pre-launch checklist.
Setting up discovery, the SEO fundamentals,
Right.
and then finally establishing those habits for continuous monitoring and, sustainable growth.
It is the final sprint, but it's a sprint that involves these technical connections that can feel, well, really overwhelming if you haven't done them before.
Mm-hmm.
We need to unpack all that jargon and just simplify the process.
Okay.
So let's start with the absolute foundation of your online presence, the two requirements for any website.
All right, let's unpack the essentials. Our sources, they immediately point out that if you strip away everything else, all the code, all the content, every single website requires two fundamental non-negotiable components.
Mm-hmm. They call it the essential duality.
The domain and the hosting. That's the starting line for any project. You can't exist online without both. And the materials provide this really helpful, super straightforward analogy for anyone who might be new to this.
That's a great one.
The domain is your nameplate, and the hosting is your house. You need both for people to find you and, come inside.
That immediately puts it into context. So let's define them clearly. The domain is just your address on the internet. It's the URL, like thedeepdive.com.
Yeah, it's the friendly, human-readable name that replaces that long, complicated string of numbers, the IP address that computers actually use to find each other.
And the hosting is the physical house. It's the server space, the computer, somewhere out there where your website's actual files, where they live.
Right. So when a user types in your nameplate, your domain,
Yeah.
the internet's routing system, the DNS, it finds the right house, the host, and then that host serves up the files, the code, the images, all of it back to the user's browser.
Which is why the quality of your hosting directly impacts your site's speed and reliability.
100%.
So, okay, we need to acquire the nameplate and secure the house. Let's start with the domain. The advice here is pretty timeless, right? Keep it short, make it memorable.
And make sure it aligns with your brand or your project. It's a very simple process now, thankfully. You get that nameplate through what's called a domain registrar.
The big names everyone knows.
Yeah, the sources list the usual suspects: Namecheap.com, Google Domains, GoDaddy, Hostinger. You're basically just paying a small annual fee to reserve that specific name and point it wherever you want.
Okay, so that's the nameplate. Now, securing the house, the hosting, this used to be, this was a massive barrier. financially and technically.
Oh, it was a huge hurdle.
Yeah.
You had to rent expensive servers, you had to learn these complex command line interfaces, manage all the maintenance yourself.
The cost alone could just sink a project before it even started.
It did many times. But what's really revolutionized this whole process, especially for beginners, is this incredible landscape of free hosting platforms we have today.
The change is just monumental.
It is. If you're building a modern, lean website, a portfolio, a blog, a front-end application, you can now launch and often maintain a fully functional global site on a free tier. Forever.
It just completely eliminates the financial risk for a beginner.
It does. But, and this is an important but, you need to know which house is right for your specific project. They all kind of specialize.
Okay, let's break down the major players the sources recommend. We can go through their pros and cons.
Sounds good. Let's start with two of the giants in modern hosting. They're both really optimized for speed and modern developer workflows. First one is Vercel.
Vercel. So Vercel is highly recommended if your project is built with modern JavaScript frameworks like React.
Exactly. React, Next.js, Svelte. If you're in that world, Vercel is, well, it's pretty much built for you.
So what makes it stand out in the free landscape?
Beyond just the free tier, it's their deployment speed. It's often just one click directly from your code repository. They handle all the automatic stealing. And crucially, they're known for their performance-enhancing infrastructure.
So it helps you meet those Google Core Web Vitals metrics.
Right out of the box, they often use AI to optimize the build process itself. The main trade-off, though, is that the free tier is very focused on front end. If you have a big database, you're probably outsourcing that part.
Got it. Okay, so next is their main competitor, Netlify.
Netlify is the veteran favorite, especially for what we call Jamstack sites.
Okay, for anyone who hasn't heard that term, what exactly is Jamstack?
It's an architectural approach. So Jam stands for JavaScript, APIs, and markup. In really simple terms, it just means your website is pre-built into static files.
The markup.
The markup, yeah, which are super, super fast to deliver. And any dynamic features like, say, comments or payments are handled by external services, the APIs, using client-side JavaScript.
So Netlify is king for these fast, secure, static sites.
And they often have the easiest deployment process. I mean, literally drag and drop. So if your site is mainly informational portfolio, a corporate site, a simple blog in Netlify is probably the path of least resistance.
You trade some complexity for blistering speed.
Exactly. Now, if your project is more complex, if it involves dynamic web apps, user logins, real-time updates from a database, the recommendation shifts pretty significantly.
To what?
To Firebase hosting.
Okay, that sounds like a whole different kind of house.
It is. Firebase is part of the Google ecosystem, and it offers real-time database capabilities, authentication services, serverless functions, all built in.
So if you have a site where data is changing constantly, like a collaboration tool or a mobile app backend,
Firebase is the stronger choice, even on its free tier. It just integrates perfectly with all its other backend services.
Okay. Then we have the options that are more focused on just ease of use and like rapid iteration.
Right. First is Replit Deploy. This is the absolute easiest entry point for a beginner or for quickly prototyping an idea. If you built your code in the Replit online IDE,
It's literally just a button.
it's literally a button. You press it, you're live. It's ideal for just testing something out or for, a school project where you don't want to get bogged down in configuration.
And finally, the classic, GitHub pages.
Perfect for portfolios, documentation, educational projects. Since most developers are already using GitHub for version control anyway,
It just makes sense.
it makes perfect sense. Linking your repository to GitHub pages gives you hosting for free, and the deployment is inherently linked to your code. You push a change to your main branch, the site automatically updates.
That is a phenomenal menu of free options.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is the big but, the moment that historically follows choosing a host is the most frightening one.
Oh, yeah.
Connecting the domain. This is where you run into the dreaded jargon. DNS records, name servers, A records, CNAMEs.
It is the moment of maximum technical frustration, and it's where AI has become this incredible equalizer. Our sources really emphasize that AI eliminates this fear not by making you an expert in DNS.
But making the task just actionable.
Instantly actionable and tailored specifically to your chosen services.
Okay, before we get to the AI part, can you just briefly explain what some of that jargon means? Like, what are DNS records, broadly speaking?
Sure, so DNS stands for Domain Name System. Just think of it as the internet's phone book.
Okay.
When you type in a domain name, the DNS looks up which IP address, which house that nameplate is connected to. A DNS record is simply one of the entries in that phone book.
And a CNA.
A CNME, or canonical name, is just one specific type of entry. It's often used to point a subdomain, like blog.yourname.com, to another location, like your hosting platform.
So if I'm hosting on Netlify and I bought my domain from GoDaddy, I need to go into my GoDaddy account and tell their phone book to list Netlify's address.
Precisely. And this is where the specific AI prompt is so incredibly effective. Instead of digging through GoDaddy's confusing documentation and then Netlify's equally confusing documentation.
Which are never in sync.
Never. You just ask the AI directly. The Thor suggests a prompt like, explain how to connect my GoDaddy domain to Netlify step by step, assuming I want to use my main domain.
And the power of that is the AI acts as that instantaneous translator.
It gives you the exact A records or CNAME records you need for those two specific services. And it translates the technical instructions into clear actions. Go to your DNS management page in GoDaddy, find the A record section, and copy and paste this value.
It transforms what could be a technical crisis
into a 10-minute copy and paste task. It's a game changer.
Okay, so with that foundation set, we've got the domain, we've chosen the host, it's all ready to go. We move into the actual deployment.
Yeah.
The moment of truth.
The moment we've been building towards. And the sources simplify this huge task into a really clear, concise, 4-step process for going global.
I like that. Breaking it down into 4 steps really helps manage the psychological load of it all.
It does. It tells you you're nearly there. Just focus on these 4 things.
So step 1, prepare your code.
This is the final pre-flight check, and it involves meticulous testing. You have to check every single internal and external link to make sure nothing is broken. You have to verify that all your images are optimized, and not just scaled correctly, but compressed. This is so critical for page speed, which Google measures fiercely with its core Web Vitals.
If your images are too big, your site just fails that test no matter how good the code is.
Fails it hard. And most critically, testing on all major devices.
No responsiveness. It's not optional anymore.
Not even close. The majority of internet traffic is mobile now. If your site doesn't look perfect and work perfectly on a small screen, you are launching a broken product for most of your users.
Okay, step 2, deploy. This is the technical act of actually handing the files over to the host.
Right. And often this means integrating with your code repository like GitHub. When you push your final prepared code to the main branch, platforms like Vercel or Netlify instantly see that change.
And they kick off a new build.
They kick off a build process, taking your files and making them publicly accessible on the internet through their servers. It happens in minutes.
Step 3, connect domain.
This is what we just talked about, updating those DNS records. But crucially, the sources emphasize the order of operations here. Deploy first, then connect the address.
Don't put the nameplate on the house until the house is built and ready for visitors.
Exactly. You don't want people showing up to a construction site.
And step 4, the most important one, the one that seals the deal and starts that feedback loop. Celebrate.
Yes. Share the link immediately. Announcing the launch, it formalizes it, it pushes you past the point of no return, and it lets you gather that initial crucial feedback from your network.
But as anyone who's ever rushed a launch knows, the difference between a professional deployment and a messy one is the checklist. The materials provide a critical 9-point launch checklist. They call it the confidence map, and it ensures nothing essential gets missed.
This list is your safeguard against public embarrassment and security failures. It starts with the basics of user experience. You have to confirm that all pages load and that all links are verified.
Not just on the homepage, deep inside the site.
Deep inside. Next, responsiveness confirmation. The site must be verifiably mobile responsive on different screen sizes. Don't just guess.
Then we move into the technical foundation for the search engines. It's essential that SEO titles and meta descriptions are added for every major page.
This is what Google shows in the search results. It's your ad. It's what determines if someone clicks on your link or your competitors.
And a related but so often forgotten detail, confirming that a social preview image is added.
This is a huge point of differentiation. It's a small thing that looks so professional. When someone pastes your URL into Slack or X or LinkedIn,
does a beautiful branded image pop up?
Or do you get a generic broken placeholder? That social preview image or open graph image is so crucial for looking professional and encouraging people to share your link. It's a huge win.
Okay, moving into the functional and security stuff. The domain connection must be verified. And maybe the most painful failure for any creator, The contact form must be rigorously tested.
That is so crucial. If your main goal is getting leads or client inquiries and your contact form just silently
You're
fails,
losing business and you don't even know it.
you're losing business and getting zero feedback. You have to test it end to end multiple times.
And the final two, which are all about trust and data. Analytics must be installed, and critically, the site has to be SSL HTTPS secure.
We cannot overstate the importance of SSL. It stands for Secure Sockets Layer. That S in HTTPS means the connection between the user's browser and your site is encrypted.
If you skip this, users get that big, scary, not secure warning.
And Google actively penalizes non-secure sites in search rankings. The sources stress that visitors will trust HTTPS without even realizing they're checking for it. Never, ever launch without it. And thankfully, most modern hosts just give it to you for free automatically now.
The beauty of this checklist is that so many of the most complex items, the things that require tedious, repetitive work, can be automated or dramatically simplified with those AI tools we've been talking about.
Absolutely. Think of the AI as your virtual intern. It handles all the tedious setup. For the domain setup, as we covered, ChatGPT just eliminates that technical translation headache with DNS records.
And for the SEO meta tags, which need to be unique and optimized for every single page, I mean, writing those manually is a total slog.
It is. So you leverage tools like WriteSonic or ChatGPT for immediate optimized results. But the context is key. You prompt the AI with something really specific, like, write SEO tags title under 60 characters, meta description under 160 for my new personal finance calculator page, focusing on keywords like debt-free living and budget tracking.
And that gets you high-quality, targeted output right away.
Instantly. And the same goes for that professional social preview image, even if you have zero graphic design skills.
Right.
You use a generative AI platform like Leonardo.ai. You describe the aesthetic you want, you give it a prompt like, generate a bold geometric hero banner with a text overlay that reads, launch day success. Use my brand colors, blue and gold. And in minutes, you have this high-quality asset that makes you look so much more professional on social media.
And finally, just verifying that you're visible to the gatekeepers, to Google.
For site verification, you can use Google's own AI tools to confirm your connection to Google Search Console, or use a general AI to just walk you through it, a prompt like, explain how to submit a sitemap for my new Netlify site to Google Search Console. This stops your site from just sitting in obscurity waiting for Google to maybe find it someday.
All this automation.
Yeah.
It gives you the confidence to actually push the button, which brings us perfectly to this anecdote that was in the source materials about Fatima. It just captures the psychological shift this whole structure provides.
Yeah. It's a great story. Fatima was, 19 years old. She'd built this beautiful online art store using no-code platforms, Software and Airtable. The site was built, the art was loaded, but she had this acute pre-launch panic.
That classic feeling. What if something critical breaks or I miss a huge step? That fear of a public mistake is just debilitating for new creators.
It is, but her next step was brilliant. Instead of freezing, she just treated that technical anxiety as a solvable problem. She went to ChatGPT and she prompted it, give me a pre-launch checklist for my Software and Airtable-based e-commerce store.
And the specificity of her request is what matters there.
Absolutely. She didn't get generic advice. She got a customized 12-point list that specifically addressed things unique to e-commerce, like checking the Stripe payment gateway, testing the inventory levels, confirming the shipping calculation logic.
All the things that could go wrong with a store.
All of it. She just methodically worked through all 12 points.
And the result was immediate validation.
And pride. Her site went live flawlessly. Within 12 hours, she got her first order, proving the entire system worked end-to-end, and the order came from Karachi.
Wow.
A testament to the global reach she got just by following a clear, comprehensive launch procedure generated by her AI coach. The coach's insight here is so fundamental. Fear is normal, but action, guided by a good system, transforms that fear into undeniable pride. So the celebration is fantastic, but then we immediately shift into the next phase, the one the sources call digital maturity.
Right. Launching is only half the battle.
It's just the first step. The site has to be discoverable, and its performance has to be measured.
Which brings us to SEO search engine optimization. It has this reputation for being incredibly complex, but at its core, our materials define it very simply.
It's just the process of helping search engines, mostly Google, understand and value your website.
And for beginners, you don't need to stress over, complex black hat tactics or chasing every little algorithm update.
No, not at all. You just need solid foundations. So we're focusing on the beginner's 5-point SEO checklist. These are the things that guarantee a fundamental level of visibility.
Okay, number one, use clear titles and meta descriptions.
We touched on this, but it's worth repeating. These are your site's advertisements on the Google results page. They need to be accurate, compelling, and use your main keywords. If your title is confusing, users won't click.
And Google tracks that. A low click-through rate hurts your ranking.
It does. Okay, number 2. Include main keywords naturally in your content.
The key word there being naturally.
Exactly. You are writing for humans first. Google's algorithms are so sophisticated now, they understand context and synonyms. If your content is genuinely useful and covers a topic well, the right keywords will just be in there naturally.
No keyword stuffing.
God, no, that's an outdated, penalized tactic. Don't do it.
Number 3, add alt text to all your images.
This is so important, and it serves 2 masters. First, it's for accessibility. Screen readers use alt text to describe images to users who are visually impaired.
And
Second, it gives context to the search engine. Google can't see an image, but the alt text tells it, this is a photo of a silver MacBook Pro on a wooden desk. This helps your images show up in relevant image searches.
Okay, number 4, link between your own pages. Internal linking.
This does 2 things. It improves user navigation, which encourages them to stay on your site longer. That's a quality signal to Google. And it also spreads link equity around your site. When you link from a strong page to a new page, you're telling Google, hey, this new page is important too.
Okay. And number 5, the official introduction. Submit a sitemap to Google Search Console.
A sitemap is basically just a list of all the URLs on your site that you want search engines to crawl.
So why is submitting it so important if Google is just crawling the web anyway?
Think of it like an expedited delivery service. Google will find your site eventually, but submitting a sitemap through Search Console tells Google exactly where all your pages are right now. It ensures new pages get discovered quickly. It's an easy win.
The philosophy behind all this foundational SEO is maybe more important than the steps themselves.
It is. The sources warn against, frantic short-term tactics. The core idea is to just focus on 3 things: clarity, speed, and honesty.
Clarity, speed, and honesty.
Yeah. If your site is clearly organized, loads lightning fast, remember those core web vitals, and provides genuinely honest, high-quality information, the algorithm will reward that quality over time. SEO is a long game built on a strong foundation, not quicks.
So once the site is optimized for search, we need to shift into measurement. How do we know if any of this is actually working?
And that's the realm of analytics. Data is the story of your visitors.
It's the language of progress. Analytics tools track user behavior, where they came from, which page they landed on, how they moved through your site, and where they left. Without that feedback, you're just flying blind.
Completely blind.
So what are the main tools we should be looking at here?
Well, the industry standard is, of course, Google Analytics. It provides vast, incredibly detailed user behavior data.
But there are privacy concerns with that.
There are. And for those who are concerned about data privacy and user tracking, the sources also highlight some great modern alternatives like plausible.io. It offers simplified, aggregated data without all the complex cookie consent banners.
And some of the hosting platforms have their own built-in tools.
Right, like we mentioned, Vercel and Netlify often have their own streamlined, built-in analytics features that just work effortlessly with their deployments.
The primary struggle for beginners with any of these tools is interpretation. You get hit with all these charts and metrics, bounce rate, conversion rate, sessions, and it can feel totally opaque.
It's a completely new language, and this is the 3rd major technical barrier that AI just absolutely demolishes. We need the data, but we need it translated into plain English.
Let's take 2 of those metrics. What is bounce rate and what is dwell time in conversational terms?
Okay, so bounce rate sounds simple, but it's tricky. It's the percentage of visitors who leave your site after looking at only one page. A high bounce rate could mean one of 2 things.
Good or bad?
Right. Either the user found exactly what they needed instantly and left happy, or, more often, they were disappointed and left immediately. Dwell time is how long a user spends on your page after clicking from a search result before they go back to the search results page. A longer dwell time is almost always a good sign of quality content.
So if I see a 90% bounce rate, I shouldn't necessarily panic.
Not necessarily. If it's a page that answers a simple question like, what is the capital of Peru? High bounce is fine. If it's your homepage, you have a crisis. It's all about context.
This is where we bring in the AI translator. The source suggests this brilliant prompt to just bypass all the confusion. Explain my Google Analytics report like I'm 12.
That framing is perfect because it forces the AI to use analogies and simple language. Instead of saying your bounce rate is 75%, the AI might say 3 out of every 4 people who walk through your digital front door immediately turn around and leave. Let's figure out why. Maybe the door is too slow to open or the sign inside is confusing.
It takes the raw data and gives you immediate, actionable feedback about what your users are actually thinking and doing.
Exactly. And that capability feeds directly into the idea of continuous monitoring. You have to make checking your analytics a weekly habit.
The launch is just the beginning of your research phase.
That's it. Every week, you log in and you ask the critical questions. Which pages are performing best? Where are users getting stuck? And are there any broken links or errors showing up in my logs?
Once again, the AI can perform that complex synthesis task for you.
Instead of spending hours cross-referencing metrics and tracking sources, you can just prompt it, summarize my last month's analytics, highlight the pages with the highest exit rates, and suggest 3 concrete improvements I can make this week.
It acts as your personal data analyst.
It does. It gives you a concise summary and a prioritized action list. It lets you follow progress, not chase perfection.
Okay, so we've built the site, we've launched it, we started monitoring the data. We now have to talk about the long-term, ongoing effort.
Right. A website is a living thing. If you neglect it, it will slowly break down.
Maintenance is maturity, as the mantra goes. These are the essential security and upkeep habits that have to become part of your regular workflow.
Even if you're using these great managed free services, you still have some responsibilities.
Safety first, backups.
You should really get into the habit of backing up your code at least weekly. The easiest way is just using version control like GitHub, where every change is automatically tracked.
But it's not just the code, right?
No, you also have to think about your content. If you have a database or a file upload system, you have to make sure those files are also being mirrored somewhere else, like Google Drive or Dropbox. You can rebuild code, you can't recreate customer data.
Next up, minimizing your vulnerability. Updates.
You have to regularly update any frameworks, plugins, or dependencies you're using. Think of old software as an unlocked window on your house. Most security breaches happen because someone forgets to update some minor component that has a known vulnerability.
Just stay current.
Stay current or you'll pay for it later. And you also need to know the second your site goes down. So monitor your uptime.
There are free services for this, right?
Yeah, using a free service like Uptime Robot is non-negotiable. It's just unprofessional if a customer has to email you to tell you your site is down. Uptime monitoring is all about reliability, and reliability builds trust.
And finally, just keeping the house clean. Keep the site lean.
This one is so often overlooked. Every few months, go through your files and delete unused pages, old blog posts that don't serve a purpose anymore, old forms.
All that bloat just slows things down.
It slows down your site, it increases complexity, and it adds unnecessary security surface area. A lean site is a fast site, a simple site, and a secure site.
Okay, so maintenance keeps the foundation solid. But a great foundation is useless without people inside. We need to talk about audience building.
A website needs traffic readers, customers, users to justify its existence, and audience building requires consistent content creation and outreach.
Which is a massive source of burnout for small creators.
It is, and this is another area where AI excels, not necessarily in generating the final personal content, but in handling all the high-volume planning and drafting that leads up to it.
So let's start with content ideas, say for a blog or a knowledge base.
If you're struggling to come up with consistent, relevant ideas, you just prompt the AI with your specialty. Something like, write 3 detailed blog post ideas about the benefits of using static site generators for small businesses, and suggest a unique angle for each one.
And boom, you have targeted, relevant topics instantly.
Yep. And what about social media promotion? It's necessary, but incredibly time-consuming.
Oh, it's a beast.
The AI is perfect for this high-volume, short-form copy. You can prompt. Create 10 distinct Instagram captions and corresponding calls to action promoting my new financial literacy website, and vary the tone between humorous and professional.
And now you have a pipeline of promotional material ready to go, tailored to different channels.
Exactly. And then there's the most essential step, building a direct line to your audience through email.
You can delegate the drafting of those automated messages.
Totally. Use a prompt-like. Draft a warm, professional 3-part welcome email series for new subscribers, setting expectations for weekly content, and including a link to my most popular resource. This means you have a professional onboarding experience ready to go before your very first subscriber even signs up.
The core principle underlying all of this is just consistency.
Consistency builds authority and trust. If you are consistently publishing, consistently updating, and consistently sharing, both the search engines and your audience start to see you as a reliable source of information. It's that consistent effort, informed by the data you're monitoring, that ultimately leads to visibility.
And to really drive home the importance of this, this persistent but imperfect start, the materials remind us that every giant started small.
Yeah, this real-world inspiration is so key for anyone looking at their current small project and feeling like it's inadequate.
We have to remember that great things rarely start out great.
They start minimal. I mean, look at Airbnb. It began as two guys in San Francisco renting out air mattresses on a single, extremely simple booking page during a design conference.
It wasn't a global hospitality behemoth.
No, it was a minimum viable product designed to solve one immediate problem for a handful of people.
Or what about Dropbox?
Another perfect example. They didn't launch a complex, fully built file sync system to the whole world. They launched with just one thing: a simple explainer video to demonstrate the concept, gauge interest, and prove that people actually wanted this before they invested in the massive infrastructure required.
And there was a local example in the sources, too.
Right, packfiler.com. It started as this rudimentary site with just one simple form to handle one specific government filing task. And it slowly evolved through constant user feedback and revision into this comprehensive AI-powered platform that helps thousands of users.
So what's the thread that connects all three of those stories from a mindset perspective?
The coach's final insight in the materials summarizes it perfectly. They all learned through launching, through user feedback, and through constant revision. They understood that the point of launching isn't to achieve perfection.
It's to start the learning cycle.
Exactly. The biggest mistake is waiting for the perfect code, or the perfect design, or the perfect content.
Don't wait for perfection. Launch, learn, level up.
So if we just zoom out on this whole process that we've hopefully demystified today, we've taken what was once this highly technical, multi-day, stressful endeavor, and we've condensed it into these manageable, supported steps.
We clarified that essential structure, the hosting and the domain. We laid out that simplified four-step deployment process. We established SEO as the necessary foundation for being seen.
And analytics as the non-negotiable tool for actually measuring your traffic and your performance.
And the key takeaway, the thread through this entire journey, is the seamless integration of AI support.
Right. It acts as your personalized technical translator. It removes the friction from tasks like connecting DNS records or generating optimized meta tags, and maybe most importantly, helping you interpret complex performance data.
The process is clear, the tools are often free, and the support is instant.
This successful launch, this moment of transition, is what the sources call the reflection box exercise. It signifies moving from that private satisfaction of the build
To the public challenge of growth. It really is a new beginning.
It is. It's the shift from maker to maintainer, from coder to, well, to entrepreneur.
As we close out this deep dive, we should return to that core mantra one last time.
The internet rewards courage, not perfection. Launch, learn, level up.
And since AI can now handle the technical translation, since it can generate your complex checklists and help you interpret your data, the only thing that's really standing between your finished site and a global audience is, well, it's just one decision.
And that is the provocative thought we want to leave you with. What is the one thing? That single imperfect piece of work, whether it's a portfolio, a simple tool, a first blog post. What is the one thing you can commit to launching today to start your own learning journey?
Take that courage, hit that deploy button, and begin the real process of maturity.